Tonight's next honoree is somebody who, like me, is more known for what you have heard from him than what you have seen. John U-Man Ulett was born... He was born and raised on the near South Side here in St. Louis. He graduated from Bishop DuBourg High School in '75. And while his 47 years as one of the longest tenured FM rock DJs in radio history at KC 95 is pretty darn impressive, Cardinals fans have been blessed with John at the PA microphone for 39 seasons since 1983. Cardinal baseball simply wouldn't be the same stadium experience without John's voice being a part of it. He was at the mic for 13 National League Championship Series, 6 World Series, and 1 Major League Baseball All-Star Game in 2009. Of course, the stadium voice as well during the careers of Cardinal greats Albert Pujols, Jim Edmonds, Scott Rowland, Chris Carpenter, Yadier Molina, and now Adam Wainwright as Adam finishes up his career. And don't forget his Emmy-worthy performances as Professor U-Man on the Cardinals Kids TV show. So how did Mr. Ulett get one of the primo PA announcer jobs in Major League Baseball?
Well, in 1982, the Cardinals went to the World Series. I was not working for them then, but I was covering the team for KC Radio in the morning show. And I would come down to the games. I got a press pass, would come down to the games. The Cardinals go to the World Series that year. I travel with them to the playoffs and the World Series. I get to know some people. The following off season, the PA announcer either quit or was fired. I don't know what really happened. His name was Joel Myers, who also worked at KC. And so the Cardinals asked me, since I got to know some of them like the previous year, if I had interest. And I said I did. And they asked me to, give an audition tape. And apparently there were other audition tapes as well. And they chose me.
John's in the St. Louis Radio Hall of Fame, the St. Louis Classic Rock Hall of Fame. You didn't know we had one, did you? And on the Bishop DuBourg High School Wall of Fame. Please read more about John's great career and life in tonight's program. It will be my pleasure to conduct John's induction interview. Now please welcome to the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame, John U-Man Ulett. By the way, our microphone caddy tonight is also a Hall of Famer. Steve Porter, the great writer from the Alton Telegraph for many, many years.
That's right.
So, by the way, that Joel Myers guy that you mentioned in the piece there, he did okay.
He sure did.
He's play-by-play guy for the New Orleans Pelicans and
That's right.
does some NFL games as well.
Yeah.
So, we know how you got the job now. How, in your opinion, have you kept the job this long?
Well, I mean, I'm sure there were moments when I could have lost the job, but luckily I was able to survive those things. Well, no, actually there was a time when I did get fired for a brief period of time, but I got that job back thanks to August Bush IV and the kind
Something
people
to do
at the
with
Cardinals.
a radio stunt, was it?
Yes, it had to do with a radio stunt. Yeah, what you think is funny behind the microphone sometimes isn't in front of the microphone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it didn't turn out quite the way we thought it would, but lived through that, survived that, and got the job back in 1993 and have been there ever since.
Good for us.
Well,
Top memories of your time at the Cardinals PA mic, I guess the 2011 World Series with Mr.
Yeah, and people ask me that all the time, and that is, Game 6 of the 2011 World Series was just unbelievable how it unfolded that night. Yeah, with David Freese doing what he did. But we were also worried about the next night because if he didn't win that World Series Game 7 the next night, what he did, that incredible thing he did as a hometown kid, would have kind of been a footnote to history, So winning it was so important, and we did it they did it that next night, And that was the highest moment of my career down there. But there have been some other moments too.
What kind of a call would you have for a walk-off home run like that? There's not much you can do, is there?
No, as a PA announcer, no, no, you just it wouldn't have mattered.
Just cheer, I guess.
Nobody would have heard me anyway. The crowd was so crazy and wild. Tony Simakaitis and I were together that night. Never forget it.
At least I get to announce a game-winning goal like that after, like game-winning goal,
yeah, you're right.
Pat Maroon, that kind of thing.
You do get to do that, yeah. I think someday PA announcing is heading in that direction more and more, where the PA announcer is going to start injecting themselves in the games. I mean, you hear like in football games, you hear the PA announcers go, third down! And people like...
The Rams guy is just, wow.
So, even in baseball,
Yeah.
2 strikes, 3 balls,
Okay.
Make noise!
So we were both inspired somewhat by Jack Buck. Tell us about your experience there.
Yeah. I just remember being a little kid sitting on the front steps of our house on 18th Street for a family flat that I grew up. Mom's here, 90 years old. And I just heard Jack Buck on the radio. I thought, I think I might want to do that one of these days, And I got a chance to tell Jack once that he was my idol and he's the reason I got into the business. So, but having him as an inspiration, and then getting to work with him, and you saw that picture that I showed up here where he signed that autograph to me. Nice working with you, John. Like, holy cow! Jack Buck actually said that to me.
I got to work with him at KMOX briefly, and that was that's always a great memory for me.
I got to play golf with him one time. He and I were late for a golf tournament, and I pull up my car, and he pulls up in his car, and they take my golf bag out, and they put it on a golf cart, and they put his on the same cart, and I go, oh my God, I'm going to play golf with Jack Buck? So we get out there, it was like 95 degrees that day, and just sufferable hot weather. And we got about to the 4th hole, and Jack said to me, John, if I keel over out here, go for my right back pocket. And I'm like, all right, Jack, whatever you say. I said, why? He said, I came over here straight from the track, and there's $4,000 back there.
So something you have done all these years is just amazing to me. You could have been at the ballpark till like 1:30 for an extra inning game, and then you're on the air the next morning at 5 o'clock at KC. How did you function that way?
I don't know. I think it's just adrenaline and the drive to succeed. I mean, that's all I can really, that's how I explain it away. My wife, my daughters.
Family does
know,
it to you when you're up here.
They know that Dad was going to do all 81 games if he can every season. It's my mountain to climb every year, the way I look at it. And they've scheduled their weddings around it, and births of a child, and everything so that I can make the games. So I thank my wife Ruth. And
so you told me on the phone you have a story about somebody yelling at you from the stands before a game?
Yeah, well, the story goes, and the jobs have intertwined many times. My job at KC and my job as the PA announcer at Busch Stadium. But this one that probably is the most best example of that. So in the mid-'80s, we had a concert with Eddie Money. Many of you know who Eddie Money is. He's had many rock hits over the years. And so this was at the Westport Playhouse, and he did 3 nights for us. And then one of the nights, at our KC birthday party concerts, we'd go on stage as the jocks, and we'd sing happy birthday to the radio station, and we'd have cake and wave to the listeners and all that, and then they'd bring the artist out. Well, that night, we had a big sheet cake that night to sing happy birthday, and a buddy of mine was carrying it, and I said, when we get done singing happy birthday, I'm going to throw that cake in your face. And I don't think he believed me, and I did it. And so the icing went all over the stage and everything. It was a big mess. So fast forward about 10 to 15 years, I'm on the field at Busch Stadium getting ready to do some field ceremonies and announce the anthem. And some guys going, hey, you, hey. And that happens from time to time down there. And, I glanced over and I I glanced again. That's Eddie Money, because I'd met him before. I knew him, from his, his celebrity and his success. So I go over and he goes, "Hey, I'm the Money Man. Anybody sing the national anthem here tonight?" I said, "No, I don't think so. I know Ernie Hayes is going to play the organ, but I don't know if we have a singer." He said, "Well, I want to come in and sing." So I went to my boss. I said, "Marty, Eddie Money's here to sing the national anthem." And he said, "Where?" And I point over there, and he said, "Eddie Money. Are you sure that's Eddie Money?" I said, I swear that's Eddie Money. He said, "If it's not, this is your last game down here. You understand?" I said, "That's him." So I go over and I said, "Come on out here." And so we start talking before I announce him. And we start talking about Casey. And he said, "Oh, Casey was a great radio station for me. You guys played my music for, from the beginning and all that. Love the radio station." I said, "Yeah, you did one of our concerts once out at Westport Playhouse. And we had a great time that night. And we had birthday cake. And I threw a cake in my buddy's face. And he stopped. He looked at me and went, 'You're the son of a bitch that threw that cake and icing all over the cake? I almost broke my neck on the stage that night.'" And I grabbed the microphone and I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Here to sing the national anthem is Eddie Money." And I gave him the microphone and I took off.
Well, you've kind of already thanked your family. Anybody else you want to thank here tonight while we wrap it
the
up?
Hubbard Radio family that's here. John Kiowski, our general manager, Marty Link, our program director. They've allowed me to continue on at Casey. I've been there 47 plus years. My co-workers Learn and Favaz here, and then all my Cardinal family here, John Mossbacher and Tony Simakaitis, and all the people who direct me and lead me down there. I love them. I love working with everybody. Thank you all for your support. Thank you to the St. Louis
John
Hall of
Ulett.
Fame.